welcome to all, and thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's an absolute honor for us to have the Honorable Union Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, as our chief guest for the 14th edition of the FE India's Best Banks Awards. Thank you very much, ma'am, for taking out the time and joining us this evening. We'd like to extend our gratitude and our thanks to our presenting partner, IRB Infrastructure Developers Limited, our associate partners, Runwal Developers, eMudra, Gravitas Foundation, Religare Enterprises Limited, and Kesari Tours, and our knowledge partner, EY. The evening shall proceed with an exclusive chat with the Honorable Minister, followed by the awards presentation. The awards presentation is going live on financialexpress.com and also on the Facebook page of Financial Express. You can post and you can follow us on social media with the hashtag FEBestBanks. Ladies and gentlemen, I am absolutely delighted to share a glimpse into FE India's Best Banks Awards and its survey. Let's take a look.
Established in 1961, the Financial Express offers rich analysis of economic and corporate developments. The FE Best Banks Awards, launched in 1997, are aimed at rewarding the best performers in India's financial sector. Over the years, more categories of players have been included, reflecting the diversity of the country's financial ecosystem. From banks, NBFCs, to small finance banks and fintechs, the universe is now more inclusive. The methodology adopted for the process of selecting the winners is rigorous and is primarily based on extensive data provided by knowledge partner Ernst & Young, using data from the Reserve Bank of India. However, the last word comes from the independent and high-powered jury, which considers both financial and other criteria. The Financial Express Best Banks Awards ceremony, while celebrating the best in the Indian financial sector, is a meeting place for the industry's best minds, a platform where key issues are deliberated upon. Financial Express, India's Best Bank Awards.
I would now like to request Mr. Vivek Goenka, Chairman and Managing Director, the Indian Express Group, to join us on stage for the welcome address.
Our chief guest, Union Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman ji, all the nominees, the award winners, distinguished guests, friends, a very, very warm welcome to all of you to the FE Best Banks Awards, which over the years, because of the work of many of you here this evening, have established themselves as a benchmark for recognizing excellence and integrity in the Indian financial sector, the very heart and head of our economy. Applauding the resilience and excellence with fairness and respect is a very powerful way to nurture excellence. And that makes your presence, Nirmala ji, very, very special. Indeed, the FE Awards not only applaud the success of the big players of the sector, they've also been great at recognizing talent early on. So these awards were among the first to recognize the coming disruption in the financial sector by honoring the excellent work done by the MBFCs, fintechs, and small finance banks. We are immensely proud that some of those awarded in the past have since joined the big league and are working for the next leap, which is already here. Banks have largely weathered the worst of the NPA crisis. Even on the capitalization front, the progress has been good, and thanks to Nirmala ji here, whose steering of the economy through COVID, the fiscal restraints, and the fiscal support that has helped see it through one of the most challenging periods since our independence. She tied her own hands during the pandemic. Banks are also not overexposed to what could have been staggering distress debt, which means, as I said, the stage is all set for this next leap. Today's winners could be tomorrow's as well, and I am sure they will lend their shoulders to many who are not in the hall this evening. Helping us in this work of recognizing the scriptwriters of the Indian financial sector's success story has been a distinguished jury. My sincere thanks to each one of the jury members for the rigor they put in. They have done an amazing job going beyond the metrics, reading between balance sheet lines, and to focus not only on success, but success that sustains and endures. And most importantly, on which the next generation can build on. In keeping with that tradition, the winners in the last 2 years, whom we are honoring today, have all shown the grit and determination to succeed even when the external environment is tough and challenging. In the process, they are champions of the great Indian success story. My heartiest congratulations to them. Underlying these achievements lies the guiding principles of what we celebrate this evening, the economic empowerment of the individual, so that she can realize her full potential, both as a citizen and a consumer, and be a vital stakeholder in the India story. In her journey, the government is, and I'm sure will continue to be, an active participant. So once again, my congratulations to all the award winners and the institutions they head. Finally, a special word for the Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Mr. K.K. Mistry. Mr. Mistry is the epitome of a self-made man, joining HDFC in 1981 as an assistant manager in the accounts department and making his way to the corner office of the country's second largest provider of finance for the Indian home buyers in 2010. As HDFC prepares to meld into its progeny, HDFC Bank, his legacy will live on in the subsidiaries he has helped build. We are honored, Mr. Mistry. And I apologize if I've got any facts wrong, although the Express Group is not known for wrong facts. We are grateful to you, Nirmala ji, for making time to be here with us today. We missed her wisdom the last time over because we were governed by the election code of conduct. So today we are going to have, I encourage you to open up and ask whatever you like. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, sir. I would now like to invite Mr. Shyamal Majumdar, the editor, Financial Express, to join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, our special highlight of the evening is an exclusive discussion with Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Honorable Union Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, and Shyamal Majumdar, editor, Financial Express.
Honorable Finance Minister, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon and thanks for being here to applaud and celebrate the finest in our financial sector, our best banks, NBFCs, fintech players, and the men and women behind their great institutions. The winners of today's awards are not only about excellence in their respective organizations, they are also powerful change agents in the communities they serve. After an agonizing 2 years, FE Best Bank Awards is back to its physical mode. And that itself is a hugely welcome change for all of us. And it's an absolute honor and privilege to have the Finance Minister with us today. While in the initial years, the awards were restricted to banks alone, over the years, other intermediaries like banks, like NBFCs, small finance banks, and then fintechs were added. There are also awards for traditional lenders who have managed a deep digital footprint. The FE Best Bank Award is a coveted one simply because each of the award winners has been declared by a distinguished external jury, all of whom have worked in the trenches and know what it takes to succeed. Our deepest gratitude to each one of them and a big congratulations to all the award winners. As the stories behind today's awardees would show, India's financial institutions are eager to grow, scale, and achieve new heights. And quite a few of them have been taking bold and transformational action to position themselves in the new global financial architecture. So, ladies and gentlemen, the stage is now set for the highlight of today's function, a conversation with the Finance Minister, which I'll have. It will be in two parts. One, I'll ask a few questions, and then I'll request some of you to join in. Thank you. So, time is short, so I have to rush through some of the questions, ma'am. Firstly, I would like to know, 5 months into the financial year, are you more confident now than what you were in April? Because in around April, you had said you were cautiously optimistic. Has caution raced ahead of optimism, or is it the other way around?
The caution continues because the external factors are still showing some of the downside risks which prevail, and they are not in our hands. So it may not be right for me to say, right, caution out of the window. It's all optimism. Now I know where I'm going. Not the time yet for it.
Right. India, if you look at the latest IMF economic outlook, India stands out because at a time when the outlook is projecting 3.2% global growth in 2022, IMF expects Indian GDP to expand to 7.4%. Now, that's the good news. But the question is whether this can last, given the fact that exports look a bit uncertain, obviously because of the external environment, a general government debt of 90% of GDP, lack of structural reforms like labor, farm law, etc., and of course, the oil shock. That is not in your hands. But do you think a downside risk to India's growth projections from here on?
No, first of all, I think IMF is not just given, I'm not speaking for the IMF, but IMF is not just given India's this year's figure, nor has it just given the global growth which they've been further and further cutting down. But even with that happening for India's growth marginally being brought down by the IMF, they're saying India's growth this year and India's growth next year would still place India as the fastest growing economy. So whilst that kind of a clear, unambiguous statement coming not just from IMF, World Bank and others as well, just corroborates even a very conservative number which the RBI also has come up with. And it's not far away from RBI, or RBI is not far away from IMF. So that brings in a certain level of consistency in the assessment, and after all, 3 or 4 such institutions are not going to be completely out of sync with what is really happening. And our own estimates have also shown, based on the developments, that we are definitely at that range, 7.4, and that level will continue even next year. Now, the challenges that you are posing as, or highlighting as downside risks, I have already recognized that there are downside risks which are completely extraneous to us. And therefore, if our exports will have to face them, yes, we'll have to be ready to face them, and we'll have to see how best our exports can be supported so that they're not really facing the headwinds so all by themselves. So we are continuously in touch with our exporters belonging to various sectors. And we do want to take every opportunity to ensure investments continue. We draw in more newer investments to come into India so that the momentum is not lost. We are definitely working on that.
Right, right. Ma'am, on private capex, if you look at the RBI report, they have reached a level of over 75%. At which level the expectation is that private sector will continue to start investing once again. But if you look at the numbers, private capex is yet to reach the pre-pandemic level. What could be the reason, according to you? I mean, do you think the private corporate sector as a whole still lacks the confidence to invest? Why is it that government alone cannot do it? I mean, of course, you have already said repeatedly that government capex will continue and you will fulfill the budget target. But what is the problem you see in private sector not coming up the way you would have liked them to be?
Asking the finance minister this question can put the finance minister into trouble and not help the private sector. Maybe ask the private sector, and if they say something which I need to work on, I can work. But then there was this time when I was told corporate tax are very high. And when after reduction, we certainly needed the 2 years because the assessment year and the time up to which we had asked for newer investments to come from private sector, you see that the corporate tax collection has gone up substantially. And that cannot be without private sector's newer expansion of business, newer investments, newer manufacturing decisions. And therefore, somewhere I think on both the grounds, I would request the media to do some more talking to industry, because if I look at the data, it's very clear that corporate tax collections, if they're going up, it can't be without new investments happening. And equally, private sector is doing the investments, I would like to believe, looking at the data, but they should also keep talking about it. Otherwise, the media is constantly going to say you're not doing it.
Right, ma'am, on this issue about freebies, a lot of talk has gone on. You've also made a statement to Parliament. Question is, how do you determine what is a bad freebie and what is a good freebie? And it's not only state governments which are at fault. Some say that even the central government should play its role. For example, as far as subsidies is concerned, India still is one of the a nation where GDP may be very small compared to others, but the subsidy element is very high. So where do you stand on this freebie issue?
All of us will have to join the conversation rather than position one to take or express his or own position or express his or her viewpoint. This is an important issue for India to debate, and all of us should join the debate is my point. And in this, I think we have from government side expressed quite a lot of our views. First of all, I think all of us do recognize that there is an issue. And India has been such a beautiful democracy, continues to be one, so every time we always try to bring the level playing field, saying you're bad, they're also bad, they are bad, you're therefore also equally bad. The debate is not who's actually doing it. It's a question, whilst of course I'll still say our government has been very conscious of what constitutes freebies. And I'm not itemizing it, but I'll bring the logic behind it. It's one thing to empower people and provide them all kinds of assistance to make sure that they can come up out of that mire in which they are and be able to do their own afterwards. But it's totally a different thing when you talk about it in the sense of an entitlement. Now, if I have to give an example for it, I'm not talking about is this being given as free as opposed to giving this as free is good and this is bad. I'm not getting into that. I'm only saying if a promise has been made to the people, let us say at the time of election, because you're looking at a quid pro quo, you should be, as a responsible party, assume after you come to power, make a provision in the budget for it. And that payment should go through as budgetary provided payment. Now, I'm just taking this example, may not apply to all states. I wish to give free electricity. You said it in your manifesto, you won your election, you come back. Now make a provision that that number of units to that many number of people will cost this much, and that amount is provided for in your budget, and that goes to the DISCOMs or that goes to the GENCOs. It should go. Your promise of a freebie cannot be burdened on to somebody else. Now, the classic example that we are seeing is of electricity. You give free electricity and no provision is made, or no payments are being made in time, or even no payments are being made at all. You end up shifting the burden to the DISCOM, which has not gone to the election. The DISCOM has not asked for votes, and they are being burdened by it. Why should they? And do they have the power to stop continuing the supply? And similarly, the GENCOs. So the debate is not about what constitutes item A, item B constitutes freebie or not, but if you've given a promise, you make the provision, let the assembly or the parliament pass it, and then you take ahead the matter. It can't just be that I've given the promise, I've come to power, but God knows who's going to pay. These are things which should guide us when we discuss the issue of freebies. That's my submission.
Right. This Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana, it's supposed to end in September. The first extension was till September. Do you think it will continue beyond September?
I'll have to wait for the decisions. We'll have to look at it, and then nearer September, we'll take a call.
But do you think there's a need to extend it?
Well, you tell me from the media. Is there a need?
You.
You should guide us, make decisions.
Okay, ma'am. Now, let's come to GST. Now, there is an accusation, mainly by states, that the center is taking away too large a slice for themselves, in the sense that, cess and surcharges, which was about 6% in 2014, it has increased to almost a quarter now. Is that the way to go? I mean, how do you see this, this entire accusation that is being made, and cess actually has gone up from 6 to 25? That is one. Second is this the time when the tax collections are so buoyant? Is it the time to go in for the much awaited rationalization of GST?
Well, on the cesses, I think I've answered this even in the parliament several times. The central government collects cess with an objective. Every cess is cleared in the parliament for being collected for a purpose. If it's for education and health, it goes for education and health. If it's for infrastructure, it goes for infrastructure. Health and education, as much as infrastructure, whether it's ports or roads or bridges, are all On the ground, and on the ground means it's in the states. So when money is spent, which is collected through a cess, it actually goes to the states. And I've read the numbers in the parliament that in some cases where the collection is 100, I've spent 110. I'm just quoting the number, meaning I've collected some amount, but I've spent much more than that on the ground. So collected cess actually goes to the states only. There is no one domain where the center is sitting and saying, this is exclusively mine, I've collected all the cesses, I'm keeping it as a reserve, and I'm doing that only for that domain. The only one domain which is entirely with the center is defense. But even that, many states have international borders. So if border roads are being made, is that not going to make the states secure? So this narrative that the center collects cesses, it's not deploying it to the states. I'm sorry, we don't own the space where I'm spending it. I think the media should now be a bit more getting out of this, rigorous loop into which you ask a question, I give you an answer, you again ask the same question. Where is the cess being kept by the center? It is actually going to the states. The 1 lakh, above 1 lakh crore that has been given for education in this budget, do you think would have been possible without education cess? And is it not going to the schools in the states? So this narrative which some interests want to propagate, that center's collection of cess is kept with this center itself, should be debunked. And the media is not helping in debunking it, it's only perpetrating it, saying, oh, you're collecting the cess. I'm sorry, no.
Okay, ma'am. The second part I asked about is, do you think this is the time to go in for rationalization?
Rationalization, there is a group of ministers. They are looking at very many things about the GST. Simplification of rates, rationalizing it, cutting down on items on which there is inversion of the duties, and making sure that the refunds happen in time. So they look, and the exemptions, about which, of course, there was a hullabaloo recently. Remove exemptions so that there are no, distortions. So the GOM is actually going through all that. We'll have to see now that the buoyancy is showing, good signs, and states are getting their dues in time. On the direct taxation, I'm making sure the devolution is front-loaded. That which has to be given in 1 month, I'm giving 2 months at one go so that they can have more money in their hands at this time when we are reviving the economy.
Right. Just a couple of more questions before I bring the audience in. I'm on the UPI service charge issue. Finance Ministry, your ministry has ruled out any change in that. After, just a day after the RBI discussion paper suggested that this could be one. But my question is, what is the problem that you see in a, say, kind of a tiered structure issue, which the discussion paper has also suggested? What is the problem? Why was the Finance Ministry so prompt in ruling out any service charge on UPI? Because you have a budget for that, but it's clearly not enough. So if you could give your views.
You're taking two different points of a debate in one. You're okay with me giving a budgetary provision, saying it's insufficient, you may want to give more. That's a different path. There's another way you're saying you've been prompt in coming in with the reply, why is it? Now, I very clearly have stated even in the explanation as we gave it, that it is, we see digital payments as a public good. People should be able to access it freely so that the digitization of the Indian economy becomes attractive for people, and also through digitization we achieve a level of transparency which is so required. And therefore we still think it's not time for charging it. In fact, it's not time at all because it's a public good. The fact that we brought in the ONDC itself also underlines the fact that we are more and more pushing towards open digital transaction, communication platforms which can enable greater access. And the promptness with which we had to come up is, although it's a working paper, there was a lot of traction saying, oh, the government is moving towards this, the RBI is going to, No, sorry, it may be a working paper and it is a working paper. That's where it is. So I had to come in to say government's position is this, because nowadays nobody, and rightly so, nobody waits for a discussion, a working paper, then discuss this way, that way, and then wait for the government to. A lot of presumptions in the market already saying, oh, then from tomorrow it's going to be charged. No, it's not going to be charged. It's a working paper. Let the working paper be where it is. That's why I had to come in quickly to say what the government's position is.
But what's your view on the tiered structure?
I may not want to express any view on it at this stage because we have taken a position that we shall provide budgetary support if there are any requirement for supporting these sort of things.
Right. Just one more question before we take, this RBI paper, another RBI paper recently said that big bang privatization of banks, it will do more harm than good. And they suggested a more nuanced approach. What is your stand on the issue? And will the banking bill was supposed to come the last session, monsoon session didn't come. Is it coming next session?
Well, it's certainly a policy matter on which the government will take a call. And I was glad that the RBI governor had the RBI come up with a clarificatory statement. Without that statement, there were a lot of apprehensions, there were a lot of questions, which I think was uncalled for.
Right, right. Okay, let me bring the audience in here. Rashesh, would you like to?
Yeah, thanks a lot and good to see you, ma'am. I think we are seeing you after COVID in this event. And I must compliment you at the very beginning. I think you and your government have managed the COVID impact on Indian economy very well. And I think we have come out stronger or as strong as we can be. The question I wanted to ask was about your views on how to get the bond market going in India, because I think we have been speaking about it for quite some time. And from what we have seen in the last few years, the credit markets are evolving. Our capital markets are still very equity market oriented and the banking system is very credit oriented. But for India to become 5 trillion and then go forward after that, we will need a very robust credit market. The way equity markets have provided private equity, startup, all the unicorns have started coming out because there is truly risk capital available. I think in the credit market also, the bond market is the one part of the piece which is not there. And for that, unlike equity market, which was only under SEBI, for bond market, we'll need RBI, SEBI, IRDA, all of them to come together with the guidance from the finance ministry. So what are the reforms each of these organizations can do, and how do we get this cracking for once and for all? Thank you.
No, I recognize the issue. And I think in the last 2 years, there is a clear approach from the government also to make sure that the bond markets are expanded, deepened, and we from the government take steps to ensure that that is facilitated. The problem is understood, steps are being taken, but more needs to be done. I recognize that.
So with the various challenges that we are seeing with US and China, we are finding that China +1 is really becoming a reality. There's a fair amount of demand from US where they're looking at alternatives to China. What is it that the government is thinking in terms of leveraging the situation and really making India the next powerhouse? And any suggestions that you have to us as private industry?
Well, I think since 2 years, government is conscious of this China +1, and that is why I think we've had various PLIs brought in, and they've had very good response. Most PLIs are well tailored, and it is attractive for investors, and we can see a difference being made in that area. There is a group of secretaries who also look at putting the case forward to those companies who are coming and also speaking to them to understand what exactly they would want more than what is made available now. So that is an ongoing process, and any new ideas which will come from the industry, we are quite happy to take it up, because India is very keen to be the place where industries who want to shift from wherever they are concentrated, we are quite happy to have them come, and we'll create the necessary ecosystem for them to feel comfortably.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, right.
On the income tax front, ma'am, frankly, a lot of progress has happened. People are getting refunds really very quick now. It's faceless. Process has become really fantastic. People are really appreciating it. Now, on the, but still, the tax laws and norms are still a very thick 1,000-page book with just so many norms. It still takes chartered accountant to file tax returns for most people. Reading of it is still complex. Still, some serious reform can be done on crushing that by literally by 30 or 40%, and really can be done, ma'am.
I fully concede your point.
Yeah. Harsh, Jain.
Good evening, madam.
Give him the mic, please.
Chandrakant Salunke, President of SME Chamber of India. First of all, thank you very much for giving an emergency loan on time for SME sector, and because of that, they played very important role. Madam, so many SMEs, you must be aware that during the pandemic, we understand that they are not doing banking, or they are not taking advantage of banking. Maybe lack of information, maybe banks are not approaching them. 7.3 crore, including self-employed.
Can you please ask your question?
Yeah, coming to the point. Can we enhance the credit flow to SME sector? Second thing, trades platform yet not mandated for the large corporate, even the 200, 250 crore, those companies are having turnover. And third, collateral fee loan is up to 2 crore. It's a small amount. Can we increase up to 15 crore per small, and for medium at least 35 crore? Thank you.
I take them as suggestions. Thank you.
Yeah. Mic there, please.
Ma'am, thank you so much for your time here. As discussed, I think unicorns have been growing in a vast way over the last 5 years because of your progressive policies. Would love to know how the private sector can continue this growth, but supported by more policies of the government and creating more stability for the tech ecosystem, which usually disrupts industries.
I think it is the continuous engagement of such startups, tech-driven industries, which has helped us to come up with the policy which has supported the startups in such a way that within a short period of time, many of them have become unicorns. When I say many, they are not in 5 or 10. You've crossed the number 100. So it is engaging with the government which helps in getting policies which can be conducive for growth. And in that, compared to the old India industries, startups and the disruptors are the ones who have shown the way as to how you can continuously engage with the government and keep tweaking the policy in such a way that it benefits you, and that is the way forward. So you should continue the engagement.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. K.K. Mistry, would you like to?
Well, thank you very much. I have a suggestion rather than a question, which is more on the housing sector, because housing creates so many jobs in the economy, direct, indirect, and stuff like that. Interest rates are going up. We know that inflation is there in the system. People have to pay more interest going forward for the loans they've taken. So if the tax exemption which is available on housing loans, interest on housing loans, which has been there now at the same level for the last 8 years, if that can be increased a little bit, I think it will help a lot the middle income people.
Right. We can take just one more question if anybody is there. Just introduce yourself. Yeah.
Hi, Jeetu Punjabi from EM Capital Advisors. Ma'am, India's FX reserves do not reflect India's trade basket at this point. I know it's an India issue. It's not a central bank issue. But what I would recommend is like India imports oil from the Middle East. It imports chips from Taiwan, Korea, crude oil, palm oil from Malaysia and Indonesia. I think India's FX reserve basket should reflect the change in the trade basket that's happening and not just hold that much dollars and other stuff that's currently there right now.
That's fine. That's our wish list for all of us.
Thank you.
Okay, we could have gone on and on, but we are really running against time because she has to go. She has to travel a lot, ma'am. Thank you very much for being so candid in your response. I wish we could have asked you more questions, but time is not there. So thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Over to MC.
Thank you very much for that insightful chat, and I request you to please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to proceed to the much-awaited moment, the prestigious FE India's Best Banks Awards presentation for the year 2019, 2020, and 2020-2021. Now, these awards are based on the analysis by FE Research Bureau and our distinguished jury, which represents the top 6 leaders of the Indian industry and policy making.
Amit Chandra, Chairman, Bain Capital. Amit Tandon, Managing Director, IIAS India. B. Mahapatra, Non-Executive Chairman, National Payments Corporation of India. R. Shankar Raman, Director and Group CFO, Larsen & Toubro. Sharad Sharma, Founder, iSpirit. S. Ramadurai, Chairman, Governing Board of the Tata Institute of Social Sciences.
May I request our chief guest, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Honorable Union Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, to please join us back on the stage for the awards presentation. I would also like to request Mr. Vivek Goenka, Chairman and Managing Director, the Indian Express Group, and Mr. Viren Mehta, Partner, Member Firm of Ernst & Young Global Limited, to join us on stage. Industry leaders and business heads are here together to celebrate the success of the best banks of India. Financial Express recognizes the banks whose exemplary performance is an inspiration for most. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us to honor their achievements. The first category for the evening is FinTech.
FinTech. The winners are Lending Cart and Pine Labs.
May I request Mr. Harshvardhan Lunia, co-founder and CEO Lending Cart, and Mr. Kush Mehra, Chief Business Officer Pine Labs, to join us on the stage to receive the award. Congratulations to our winners, and thank you for joining us. In the same category of FinTech,
FinTech. The winner is Fisdom.
I'd like to request Mr. Anand Dalmia, co-founder and CBO Fisdom, to join us on the stage. Congratulations and thank you for joining us. And thank you very much, Mr. Mehta, for joining us on stage. I would now like to request Ms. Usha Kakade, Chairman and Managing Director, Gravitas Foundation, to please join us for the next set of awards. Moving on in the same category of FinTech.
FinTech. The winners are Bharat Pay and Iris Business Services.
May I request Mr. Sumit Singh, General Counsel and Head Corporate Affairs and Corporate Strategy, Bharat Pay, and Mr. S. Swaminathan, Founder and CEO, Iris Business Services, to please join us on the stage. Congratulations to our winners, and thank you very much for joining us. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, in the same category of FinTech,
FinTech. The winners are Fisdom and Oxyzo Financial Services.
may I request Mr. Subramanya SV, Chief Executive Officer, Fisdom, and Mr. Brij Kishore Kiradu, Head Legal and Secretarial of Business, Oxyzo Financial Services, to please join us on the stage. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Ms. Kakade, for joining us on the stage. I would now like to request Mr. Shailesh Patil, Kesari Tours, to please join us for the next set of awards this evening. In the category of FinTech,
FinTech. The winners are Policy Bazaar and Go Digit General Insurance.
may I request Mr. Rajiv Gupta, President, PB Group Strategy Initiatives and Public Policy, Policy Bazaar, and Mr. Divyansh Rastogi, Vice President, Strategic Partnerships, Go Digit General Insurance, to join us on stage. Congratulations to the winners. Thank you for joining us. Up next, we have the category of savings product. I would like to take a look at the screen.
Savings Product. The winners are IDFC First Bank and IndusInd Bank.
May we request Mr. V. Vaidyanathan, Managing Director and CEO, IDFC First Bank, and Mr. Soumitra Sen, Country Head Consumer Banking, IndusInd Bank, to join us on the stage, please. Congratulations to the winners, and thank you very much for joining us today. I would now like to request Dr. Rashmi Saluja, Executive Chairperson, Religare Enterprises Limited, to please join us on the stage for the next set of awards today. All right, so up next is the category of Best Digital Bank Runner-Up. Let's take a look.
Digital Bank Runner-Up. The winner is State Bank of India.
I'd like to request Mr. Challa Srinivasulu Setti, Managing Director, State Bank of India, to join us on stage. Many congratulations to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, in the same category of Best Digital Bank.
Digital Bank. The winner is Axis Bank.
I'd like to request Mr. Samir Shetty, Head Digital Business and Transformation, Axis Bank, to join us on stage to receive the award. And thank you very much, Ms. Saluja, for joining us on stage. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the category of non-banking financial company, the runner-up is
Non-banking financial company, runner-up. The winner is Bajaj Finance.
We'd like to invite Mr. Anup Saha, Deputy CEO, Bajaj Finance, to please join us on the stage. Congratulations. In the same category of non-banking financial company,
Non-banking financial company. The winners are Sundaram Finance and Avas Financiers.
may I request Mr. Rajiv Lochan, Managing Director, Sundaram Finance, and Mr. Sushil Kumar Agarwal, Managing Director and CEO, Avas Financiers, to join us on stage. Congratulations. Thank you very much. I would now like to invite Mr. V. Srinivasan, Chairman eMudra, to please join us on stage for the next set of awards. Our next category, ladies and gentlemen, is Home Loan Product.
Home Loan Product. The winner is Bank of Baroda.
to invite Mr. Sanjeev Chadha, Managing Director and CEO of Bank of Baroda, to join us on stage to receive the award. Congratulations. Thank you very much for joining us. Moving on to the category of Small Finance Bank.
Small Finance Bank. The winners are Fincare Small Finance Bank and AU Small Finance Bank.
I'd like to invite Mr. Rajiv Yadav, Managing Director and CEO, Fincare Small Finance Bank, and Mr. Uttam Tibrewal, Executive Director, AU Small Finance Bank, to please join us on the stage. Many congratulations to the winners, and thank you to Mr. Srinivasan for joining us on the stage. Before we proceed any further, may I please request Mr. Virendra D. Maiskar, Chairman and Managing Director, IRB Infrastructure Developers Limited, to please join us to present and give out the next set of awards on the stage. We're moving on to the category of Foreign Bank.
Foreign Bank. The winner is HSBC India.
May I request Mr. Hitendra Dave, Chief Executive Officer, HSBC India, to please join us on the stage. Congratulations. Moving on to the category of Private Sector Bank.
Private Sector Bank. The winners are ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank.
We'd like to request Mr. Sandeep Bakshi, Managing Director and CEO, ICICI Bank, along with Mr. Kaizad Barucha, Executive Director, HDFC Bank, to please join us on the stage. Congratulations. Thank you very much for joining us today. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, is the category of Public Sector Bank.
Financial Express, India's Best Bank Awards. Public Sector Bank. The winners are State Bank of India and Indian Bank.
I'd like to request Mr. Dinesh Kumar Khara, Chairman, State Bank of India, and Mr. Imran Amin Siddiqui, Executive Director, Indian Bank, to please join us on the stage and receive the award. Congratulations to our winners. Thank you so much for joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the next section of the awards ceremony, the individual awards. Now, these felicitate those who have set high benchmarks and have landmark achievements for the organization and in the banking industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Banker of the Year Award for the year 2019-2020.
Banker of the Year 2019-20, the winner is Padmaja Chundru. In a difficult year, Padmaja Chundru, who had been brought in from SBI to lead Indian Bank, displayed exceptional leadership skills. Not only did she roll out a well-defined expansion plan, Chundru also put in place modern information systems to ensure business could be tracked closely. The quality of the bank's exposure improved dramatically during the year, with the exposure to unrated accounts, in particular, coming down sharply. Moreover, the lender also improved risk assessment capabilities, ensuring better return on assets, which nearly doubled. Chundru also rationalized costs, bringing down the cost-to-income ratio significantly. The structural improvements at Indian Bank were a factor in the lender becoming an anchor bank, rather than being merged with another one. For all these achievements, the FE Best Banks jury picked Chundru as Banker of the Year for 2019-20.
Congratulations, Ms. Padmaja Chunduru, Managing Director and CEO, National Securities Depository Limited. Ma'am, I would like to request you to please share a few words with us this evening.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to receive this award from an illustrious institution like Financial Express and at the hands of the Hon'ble Finance Minister. This award actually belongs to the Indian Bank team, which in a very challenging year, we all worked together and really achieved something that we all thought was impossible. I thank everyone, the entire team, the government, the Reserve Bank, everyone who actually lent a hand for that challenging task. Thank you very much, and I shouldn't forget my family. I think they've forgotten about me for that 1 year, so thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for those inspirational words. Request you to please remain back on stage with us for just a moment because we have a special memento that we would like to present to you, ma'am. Once again, many congratulations and thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to put your hands together for Banker of the Year Award for the year 2020-2021. Let's take a look.
Banker of the Year 2020-21 is Sandeep Bakshi, Managing Director and CEO, ICICI Bank. Sandeep Bakshi took charge at ICICI Bank at a time when the lender's reputation had been badly damaged. The MD and CEO steered the ship out of trouble, bringing it to a point where it is at its strongest ever. Known to be a people person, Bakshi ushered in a democratic leadership structure and boosted morale across the organization. While ICICI Bank's financial performance in 2020-21 was excellent, with profits more than doubling and the asset quality improving significantly, the jury was equally impressed with Bakshi's strategy and the bank's preparedness to cash in on future opportunities. For his exceptional leadership skills, the jury awarded Bakshi FE Best Banks Banker of the Year 2020-21.
Mr. Sandeep Bakshi, Managing Director and CEO, ICICI Bank. Please put your hands together. Congratulations. Sir, we'd like to request you to please share a few words today.
I humbly accept the award on behalf of over 1 lakh ICICI Bank employees. We are privileged to receive this award from the Honorable Union Finance Minister and Corporate Affairs, respected Nirmala Sitharaman ji. On this occasion, I would like to extend my gratitude to the eminent jury and Financial Express. These awards are a testament to the hard work of my colleagues who have made the bank a highly trusted brand in the industry. I am a temporary trustee of the bank and am indebted to my predecessors, past and present employees who have built this great institution over the last 67 years. These recognitions enhance our responsibility to work towards serving and meeting the aspirations of our stakeholders. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for those kind, inspiring words. And we have a special memento for you as well. Many congratulations, and thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we are absolutely delighted to share the most prestigious award of the evening. Yes, the Lifetime Achievement Award, which felicitates the individual whose contributions over his career to the banking and the financial sector has led to fundamental changes and reforms. A short and exclusive film on the winner, ladies and gentlemen.
Lifetime Achievement Award, Keki Mistry, HDFC Limited. Mr. Keki Mistry joined Housing Development Finance Corporation, HDFC, in 1981 in the Accounts Department and rose through the ranks to join its board in 1990. In 2010, he was appointed Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, a role he has held ever since. Under Mr. Mistry, HDFC's market capitalization has moved up to $54.5 billion from $23 billion. It is today the second largest provider of finance for Indian home buyers. Mr. Mistry has also overseen the setting up of HDFC's numerous subsidiaries, some of which have become market leaders in their own segments, helping establish the HDFC Group as one of India's preeminent financial conglomerates. A chartered accountant by training, Mr. Mistry has scored many firsts for his organization, starting with the introduction of floating rate loans in 1999. His colleagues have never hesitated to approach this numbers man for help with the finer points of business. He's often credited for creating a culture of open communication and accessibility across the ranks at HDFC. When he's not caught up with board meetings and investor calls, Mr. Mistry likes to unwind to the tune of golden era Bollywood melodies. Hemant Kumar's songs are a particular favorite. This former fast bowler and boxer never misses a major cricket match, even recording IPL games to watch in his moments of leisure. Mr. Mistry has a keen interest in ensuring better care for the elderly, and he hopes to do more for them once the merger of the HDFC twins is completed.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, keep that applause coming in for Mr. Keki Mistry, Vice Chairman and CEO, HDFC Bank. Congratulations to you, sir. Request you to please share a few words today.
Well, Honorable Union Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Mr. Shyamal Majumdar, distinguished journalists, guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly delighted and honored to receive the Financial Express Best Banker Lifetime Achievement Award. This award is even more gratifying as it is being conferred by the Express Group, which is renowned for its journalistic integrity. I would like to thank a few people for this award. On a personal note, I would like to thank late H.T. Parekh and Deepak Parekh for their guidance over the years and for reposing so much trust in me. I would like to thank my colleagues, Renu, Rangan, and all my other colleagues at HDFC and our group companies for their unstinted support over the last 40 years. I would also like to thank my late mother, my wife Arnaz, my daughter Tanaz for their continuous support, patience, and understanding at all times. I'm proud to have served an institution like HDFC since 1981. HDFC was started with the objective of making home finance or home ownership a reality for middle-income people. Today, HDFC has grown into a financial conglomerate with a bank, 2 life insurance companies, an asset management, and an education finance company. I'm proud of the role HDFC has played in India's economic growth over the last 45 years. Finally, I would like to once again express my sincere gratitude and thanks to the Financial Express and to the jury members for this honor. My congratulations to all the other winners. I wish them all the very best. Thank you.
So we have a very special memento for Mr. Mistry. Congratulations once again, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you to Mr. Maiskar for joining us on stage. I would now like to request Mr. Anant Goenka, Executive Director, Indian Express Group, to please join us on stage to present a very special token to our honorable chief guest. This portrait is made by Ronit Four, Chief Illustrator, Financial Express. Thank you very much. And thank you to Mr. Anant Goenka for joining us on stage. Ma'am, request you to please have a seat on stage. I would now like to invite Mr. Virendra D. Maiskar, Chairman and Managing Director, IRB Infrastructure Developers Limited, to please share the vote of thanks.
As I propose this vote of thanks, I would like to thank the Honorable Finance Minister for gracing the occasion, making it possible to come over, and also would like to say that we are deeply honored to be a part of this particular function. Today, as we enter, coming out of the pandemic into Amrit Kal, as Honorable Prime Minister has mentioned, it is a matter of great satisfaction for us at IRB that we are entering the 25th year of our existence. And it gives me immense pleasure to say that we have contributed in a meaningful manner in building the highway infrastructure for the country today. And as we look forward, I think it has been a matter of great satisfaction that in all these years we have been able to enjoy a spotless track record of returning all the monies that we borrowed from the banks in building this infrastructure without even a single day's delay. And as we bring in more financial investors and partners to our growth story. We look forward for more opportunities that I'm sure the government is about to unleash on us in terms of more private sector participation. And with that, I would also like to thank the Express Group for allowing us to be a part of this particular event. And thank you everyone for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Request you all to remain on stage for just a little bit longer, because it's now time for the group photograph. So I'd like to quickly invite all of our jury members, our partners, Mr. Anant Goenka, Executive Director, Indian Express Group, Mr. George Varghese, CEO, Indian Express Group, and Mr. Shyamal Majumdar, Editor, Financial Express, to please join us on stage for the group photograph. I'd firstly like to invite the winners of 2019-2020 to please join us on the stage for the photograph. Let me request everyone to just remain on stage for a few moments longer because we'd like to request the winners of 2019-2020 to please take a seat, and we'd like to invite the winners of 2020-2021 to please join us on stage for the group photograph. Congratulations to all of our winners. Thank you so much for joining us on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, big congratulations to the winners of FE India's Best Banks Awards. We'd like to thank our chief guest, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Honorable Union Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs. And we'd like to express our deepest gratitude and thanks to all of the dignitaries who are present here today. Ladies and gentlemen, an event of this scale and this proportion would not have been achieved without the unstinting support from numerous quarters. So we'd like to thank our presenting partner, IRB Infrastructure Developers Limited, our associate partners, Runwal Developers, eMudra, Religare, Gravitas Foundation, and Kesari Tours, and our knowledge partner, EY. As we look forward to celebrating this evening, please do join us for cocktails. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been a wonderful audience. Wish you a lovely evening ahead.